but she's still dealing with it. So we are that teller, the bank teller. We're dealing with everything, but without that false sense of proprietorship. And then if we feel it's all about Krishna, then that feeling would come. So that's one thing. The second thing is that it might be hard to do that, but Krishna says there's something even simpler you can do to come to me. And he talks about, don't think you become so advanced that you can deliver other people. Can't do that. Don't worry about it. What you can do is attract other people to me. Attract other people to me. How do you attract other people to Krishna? By telling them about Krishna. So the simplest thing to attract anybody is about hearing about him. We have a very famous story about Queen Rukmini in our scriptures. She heard about Lord Krishna's qualities and she fell in love with him. And she expressed a desire to get married to him. And she sent a letter to Krishna. She said, I don't want to marry somebody that my brother wants me to marry. I want to marry you. If you decide not to marry me, I'll give up my life. And life after life after life, I'll perform austerities until you say yes. That's the feeling. But she got that feeling from being attracted to Krishna by hearing about Krishna from somebody else. We can do that. All of us. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that the person who explains this Bhagavad Gita, which talks about me, becomes very dear to me. So dear to me that I don't think there's anybody else in the whole world who's more dear to me than that person. And I guarantee it. This Krishna is saying, I guarantee that that person will come to me. Absolute guarantee. So this temple is a place where we work very hard to attract people to Krishna. And when I say this temple, I don't mean just this building. I mean devotees and all the activities that devotees get involved in. For example, lots of devotees go out, regardless of the weather, on the streets, distribute books, to chant Krishna's name on different street corners. They go house to house, apartment to apartment, store to store, different shopping malls, chanting Krishna's name, delivering books. A lot of people become attracted to Krishna just from that, and they come. They come to the temple, they become devotees. There are lots of people in the temple, some are newcomers, some have been around for a while, and we have started a whole number of programs under the umbrella of newcomer care, where we are requesting, inviting people to join in the activities that are of interest to them. Whether it is chanting, it is discussing philosophies. We are about to start what we call support groups. So for example, there are many devotees, female devotees, who are raising young children. And they have their challenges. They need a support group. So we're starting that. There are some males, not married, they have their challenges. There's some females, not married, they have their challenges. The senior citizens, they have their challenges. There are many, many variations of that. And we're going to be starting support groups so that not only they can share their experiences, their feelings, but they can also discuss how they can balance that material life they have, the material challenges they have, with devotional service. We have classes going on for children, we have music lessons going on, lots and lots of activities. Actually, I counted once, 35 different activities currently going on. And we're going to start another at least 10 different activities. Thank you. And all of them have only one purpose. And that purpose is either to attract somebody to Krishna or allow somebody to attract us to Krishna. Let me say this again. If I am the person, either I'm attracting somebody to Krishna or I'm allowing somebody to attract me to Krishna. And hopefully both. So I'm attracting somebody and somebody is attracting me to Krishna. When we do that, as I was saying, Krishna becomes very happy that, oh, you brought this person to me. And he becomes so happy, he says, let me give you a hug. Now I just have to ask you a very simple question. How many of us would like to be hugged by Krishna? Anybody? Almost everybody. I don't know why. There must be something there. And that something is, He's our ultimate goal. You all remember being hugged with your children by your parents or sisters, cousins, whatever, aunties, aunts. It really feels good. There's something about being hugged. Imagine being hugged by Krishna. And He's given us such a simple formula. Attract people to me, I'll give you a hug. Very simple. So let's make that resolution. We will attract somebody to Krishna. We will allow somebody to attract us to Krishna. And then we all get a group hug from Krishna. Wouldn't that be nice? I mean, I get chills just thinking about this. You know, it's just like.
Sounds like a great idea.
Thank you. So, two very simple resolutions. And I just want to talk about the con side of not doing something like this. So I talked a lot about keeping Krishna in the center. I talked a lot about we are not this body, we are a spirit soul. So what happens when we don't believe that? And I'm not even going to talk about people outside. I'm just going to talk about the devotees, our congregation. Without meaning anyone in particular, but just general things that I'm sure all of us have observed. Every once in a while, somebody gets upset and says, I'm going to stop donating to this temple. The money gets mismanaged. There's no clear, transparent reporting on where it's being spent. You're not spending on the project I want, and on, any number of excuses. I'm not going to give my money to you. Well, what are the assumptions this person is making? It's my money in the first place. So he doesn't believe, or she doesn't believe, this money belongs to Krishna in the first place. They're claiming ownership. But the worst of all, they think they control everything, because if they don't give money, Krishna will go hungry. If they don't give money, Krishna will have nothing to wear. His wardrobe would be empty. I'll give another example. Sometimes people get upset. I'm going to stop service. I'll do all this service I do, I'm going to stop. Why? Because somebody says something I didn't like, I'm really upset, I'm angry, I'm stopping. Okay? So what happens to Krishna now? Nobody will cook for him. The temple will not get cleaned. Is that going to happen? It always reminds me of a story I read to my grandson the other day. The story was about a rooster. You know the famous story, the rooster, they crow early in the morning and the sun comes out. So one rooster thought, the sun comes out because I crow. Look at the power I have. So one day I don't grow, the sun will not come out, this whole village will be dark, then they will know how big I am, how valuable I am. So I'm not going to do this. So one day it didn't grow. And he just looked at her and suddenly he saw the sun coming out. He said, oh, what's going on? And the sun really came out and he started growing. That's what these people are doing. Because nothing stops. Nothing stops. And if we stop our service, stop our donation, then who has lost out? Me. Who stopped doing this? Often we hear, oh, I didn't come to the temple because the weather was not so good. Because I can never find parking. Hours are not suitable to me. On and on and on. And what's that? I'm this body. You're asking me to inconvenience my body. I don't want to do it. So once again, who's in the center? Not Krishna. Because I know the same person, if their son was ill in the hospital, they will not say, I got work to do, or the weather is bad, or the hospital hours don't suit me. Do any of those questions come up? No, you'll go. Why? Because we have feelings for the child. So it all comes down to how we feel about Krishna. That's all it's about. So again, this comes down to the same thing, down to develop those loving feelings about Krishna. They'll come if you're sincere, they'll come if you're diligent about this, and they'll come if you associate with the people who have those feelings. It's the devotees. So this is why you will often hear everyone talking about the importance of devotee association. Because let's face it, we have our material challenges. Everywhere we go, everywhere we look, everyone's talking about as if we are this body. Whether it's anti-aging cream, whether it is clothes you wear, whether it's the kind of food you eat, it's all about developing this body, doing something good for this body. So we get so bombarded by all this because that's all we can think. So therefore some compensating factor has to be there, which comes from devotee association, from reading the scriptures, from chanting the name of the Lord, and so on and so forth. But we have to do that if we have to live in this world, because we're not going to give up our job, we're not going to give up our family, we're not going to give up our house. But in that, living in that, we have to have this understanding what it's really about, who it is really about. So let's make it a third resolution, and that is we will keep the association of the devotees in 2019. And when we get together, we will not talk about Donald Trump or Trudeau or what's happening in India or Syria or wherever. We'll talk about Krishna. If we can do that, we'll have a wonderful Krishna conscious 2019 and beyond. So if we can do that, that hug is guaranteed. Let's go for it. Thank you. Since I have about another 7 minutes, any questions, comments, realizations? Yes, ma'am.
How much we try, Hare Krishna, how much we try, we do fall into the material contamination, we do fall into mode of ignorance. Just give us some tips to keep up boost, keep remembering Krishna even at the hardest times.
That's an excellent question, Prabhu. no matter how much we read, no matter how much we associate, the force that's around us from every direction pulls us towards those material things that cause us nothing but miseries. And the unfortunate part is that we know it. A lot of us know it, but still get pulled by it. And the only way we can avoid that is if we constantly remind ourselves through that devotee association, through the reading of the books, through the chanting process, that is, none of it is for me. And remember Krishna's point that everything that seems like material pleasure today is really a source of misery for us. And then just pray to Krishna. And this is very good point, because I should have mentioned that Krishna is waiting for us to cry out for help. He's literally waiting. You cry out for help with those feelings, I'll be there. Our problem is that we have so much comfort. Even the poorest of us have so much comfort available to us. We become almost complacent. And even those of us who want to be devotees, we say, we'll enjoy our comforts and part-time will be devotees also. Right? So we'll do our 2 hours of chanting, 2 hours a week of coming to the temple, but rest of the time I'm going to, work on these things. So we are part-time devotees. And Krishna is saying, you need to improve. And as long as we stay part-time devotees, we'll continue to do that. Therefore, again, Queen Kunti I was referring to before, she said, no, my dear Lord Krishna, actually I want you to give me difficulties all the time. She said, because when I have difficulty, I think of you. When I think of you, I know you will be there. And when you're there, I know I'm beyond all this trouble. So actually we need to learn how to cry for Krishna. And we cannot cry for Krishna until we understand we are in trouble. Most of us don't believe we are in trouble. And when we are in trouble, we think, oh, it's temporary. It will pass too. The most dangerous words in this world are, it's alright. It's okay. This too shall pass. They're the most dangerous words because they keep us away from crying out for help from Krishna. There's a very famous story about a personality by the name of Draupadi. She was in a lot of trouble. She was going to be stripped naked in front of thousands of people. And she cried out for help from her husbands, the elders who were present, other people who were present, nobody helped. She called for Krishna. Krishna did not come. She called again, Krishna did not come. Finally, she let go of her sorry and raised her hands. Govinda, Krishna, please come. And Krishna showed up immediately and supplied more cloth, like miles and miles of cloth, so she would not be stripped. Later on, she talked to Krishna. She said, why did it take so long? Did she not know I'm in trouble? Somebody's pulling on my saris in front of thousands of people. I was calling for you, you didn't come. She did not cry out with feelings. When you cried out with feelings that there's nobody else who can help you, I was immediately there. So we have to come to that realization that there's nobody can help us in the kind of trouble we are in except Krishna. We may be millionaires, we may be presidents of companies or countries, we may have whatever fame we have, doesn't matter. We are all in trouble. It's a hard thing to accept when you're having such a good time in our life. But we are in trouble, and the moment we accept we are in trouble, we cry out for Krishna, He'll be there. So that's what we have to do. Thank you for your question, excellent question. Did you have a question? Somebody had a question? Somebody else? Oh, you had a question.
Thank you. Well, I'm new to the temple, so maybe what I'm going to say is not correct. Please correct me if I'm wrong. So what I understand is that if we want to put Krishna in the center, we want to offer everything to Krishna, is my understanding, we need to understand first who is Krishna in order to offer him. Because if I don't know who is, how I'm going to bring the center. And it's my understanding that when we understand who is Krishna, we understand that we are part of Krishna. So there is not a duality. It's not that he's there, I'm here. Me, Krishna, everything is one. So at the end, there is not a differentiation, me and Krishna, when I work and I do things for Krishna, because whatever I do for him, I'm doing it for me.
Another very good question. So first of all, how do we know who is Krishna? How do we understand him? Answer is very simple. From hearing about him. Hearing means reading, hearing from other people. So that's why devotee association, reading the scriptures becomes very important. So that's one. Having understood who is Krishna, and very simple definition is his supreme God. That's it. No, maybe I should add a little more. A supreme God who loves us infinitely, unconditionally. So he really loves us, and he really wants to hug us. He really does. Like any parent, they want to hug their child, no matter how bad the child is. All that the child has to do is come to me. And I say, just come to me, I'll give you a hug. So your point about whatever I'm doing, sure. Whatever we do, Krishna says, do it for me. However, that's not same as doing it for me, because Krishna says, you and I are not the same. They're two separate entities. You are my part and parcel, yes, but we're not the same. We're different. You are my servant. I'm your master. You do everything for my enjoyment. What you do to be enjoyed, I enjoy. So there's difference. So when we do things, and we say this for Krishna, Krishna then says, you know what? I'm very pleased. So I'll make sure you are happy. However, his definition of happy is not always the same as our definition. For example, our definition may be more money, more power, more fame, more property makes me happy. Krishna's definition may be chanting 16 hours a day, serving in the temple all the time, thinking of me all the time will make you happy. And the problem comes when the two definitions don't match. That's why a lot of people don't want to serve Krishna. That's why a lot of people say, no, I can't do it because he's not going to do it for me. Because the definitions are different. So somehow or the other, we have to come to the point where we say, no, my desire is same as Krishna's desire. What makes me happy is when I make Krishna happy. So again, let's go back to the example of the 2-year-old child. The 2-year-old child says to the parents, whatever you do is fine. You want to put a blue dress on me? That's okay. You want to put red dress? That's fine. You want to feed me this today or that today? That's fine. You want to go on a trip? You want to stay home? That's fine. Whatever you do is fine. In return, the parent says, I'm going to take care of you. I'm going to make sure you're fed well, you're clothed well, you're sheltered well, you go to the places. They take that responsibility. And this relationship goes on. But the child is totally surrendered until they grow up. And when they become teenagers, well, it's a whole different story. We have become teenagers, that's the problem. We don't want to listen to them. They don't know anything. I know it all. There's a very famous story about George Bernard Shaw, who said, when I was 17, I couldn't believe how dumb my father is. But when I turned 30, I couldn't believe how much he learned in 13 years. That's what we are doing. We're saying, Krishna, you don't know what's good for me. So we stand in front of him and say, give me money, let me win the lottery, get me a promotion, give me a son, give me a son-in-law, daughter-in-law, big house. We keep asking, as if he doesn't know what's good for me. So we tell him. So my point in answer to your question is, there is a difference. And there's a difference in what pleases him versus what pleases us, quote unquote. And we have to know that difference through, again, hearing, reading the scriptures, and our focus should be, let's please him. And he's such a wonderful parent, he'll make sure we are happy, in bliss, by his presence. Did I answer your question? Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
The doors are open in about 1 minute.
I'll conclude by saying that the reason we come to this world is to purify ourselves, purify our senses. That's what Lord Krishna wishes us to do. That's what He always wants us to do.
Yes, that's great.
Thank you.